Yeah, g'day guys. Let's see if we can save this little Brumby hay from the scrappers. Here we go. So what do we got here? We got a little 87 model, 1987, yeah, last century, 87 model Brumby. It's the single headlight version. It's missing quite a few parts from what I can tell. And it has a motor, like there's a bunch of bits missing off the motor. The bonnet is a little bit skew-if. As you can see, the gapping over here is like huge. And that's mainly because the bonnet hinge is seized up and it's torn off. It's torn off the bonnet, so that's one of the first things I'd have to sort of try and tidy up. It's got different wheels all round. Every wheel is different, some unknown reason. Some are 14s, some are 13s. It did come with a big heap of spare parts, which is always a bonus. Not much of an interior. Well, there's a bit of plastic on the back wall there, but the glass is out of it. Like, she's a vented rear window. So there's a whole couple of crates over there. There's a couple of door cards, spare air cleaner. The steering wheel's a bit... The dash and everything is... she's relatively complete. A bit of a surround and everything missing. Never really had air conditioning in a lot of these models, which is good and bad, I suppose. They were originally designed just as a very simple country little car. Country driven. And it's probably done 1,000,000 miles. I don't even know if this is the original speedo. And that says 230,000. Now it's been sitting in my yard for, it'd be a good 2 years. And I bought it from a fellow way down in Lismore. I went for a drive and picked it up. I was going to do a video on it then, and then do a full resto and make it back to original, make it really nice. And I never got around to that. I was too busy doing other things, and started into zombie, building the zombie, and it sort of took a lot of time, and it just got away, and it just sat there, and it started getting quite rusty. So the poor little thing just sat there down in the lower level from below my shed there, and was not in good condition. I thought it was time to bring it up and do something with it. I did buy a Forester. Now it was a stat write-off, so I could just use the running gear. It's a EJ22, so 2.2 litre. These original ones only have a 1.8 pushrod 1800 motor, EA81 or something I think they're called. A relatively reliable old motor, and lots of people just kept them and did stuff with them. So, but what I was planning to use the Forester EJ22, overhead cam, fuel injection, all that kind of stuff, and it had a 5-speed high-low range. And I thought, yep, that's what I was going to do. I kept it aside, and for some reason I never really got to that either. Got to that to put into this, which I really wanted to do. So I might end up doing something else with it. So what, may you ask, am I going to do with this car? Since I'm not really going to originally restore it back to the original 1800cc motor, I was very tempted to get in to do the strip the Forester and put all the running gear in this. Actually, I think Mighty Car Mods are doing that right at the moment. They're doing one in that sort of platform. And the EJ22 is a very good upgrade, and it's exceptionally popular. There is a company called Subarino. They're not a sponsor of the channel or anything, but they are heavily supportive of all the parts and components that you need to repair your Brumby and any L series, basically. Like, because when I was 20, which was quite a while ago, look at my hair, you know, it's a bit grey. So it was quite a while ago. When I was 20, I had a wagon, the same model, high-low range, not a bad little car, but I always wanted a Brumby, always. But I had mates and stuff, and so I needed more than 2 seats. So I never really got one until a couple of years ago. I bought it, and it just sat there. Anyway, so what am I going to do with it? I've got a few options. Maybe I should look into those options. Maybe I should keep it original. Maybe I should do the Forester upgrade, the EJ22. Let's do the EJ22 swap out. Anyway, maybe I won't. Maybe I will. But I've got another idea. And let me get into something I like doing, and I'll show you. So I've got the little Brumby there. All the running gear's shot. Parts of the motor's missing. There's suspension parts missing. I sort of liked something with a little bit of height under it, like not jacked right up. And you know from those who know me in the channel that when I built the zombie vehicle, post-apocalyptic vehicle, I kind of put it on a different chassis. Well, here's one I prepared earlier. So this is a 98 model TJ Jeep chassis. Now it has all the components that you want for a modern day chassis. So it's coilover with a solid axle on the front for serious four drivers. So I think it's had a lift kit of some kind in the past. So it looks like it's had a lift kit on it. I don't know how high, it doesn't look massive. And I'm not sure what diffs is under. I think they're 44s, like Dana 44s. So will it fit? Is that the question? That's probably on a lot of people's minds. Well, the TJ Jeep wasn't a very long vehicle. So I've done a comparison with wheelbase, and we're looking at about 70 mil, which is just over 2 inches, nearly 3 inches. And from the Brumby wheelbase, would you believe the Brumby is actually longer? It's about 2.5 inches longer than the TJ Jeep. So what my thoughts would be is when I made all the wheels miss, because I had a few little clearance issues with the Zombie, so all I did was just trimmed them out here, and I'm pretty much, like, I mean, 70 mil is only that much, and I'm probably got 50 mil before I hit the wall, hit the firewall, the inner guard where the foot pedal is. So there's tons of room there. Now if we have a look in the rear, there's more than 50 mil there that I can actually cut out to arch out that part of the body. So I'm not going to have it as it sort of sits at that height. I'm planning to have the body, because the Brumby doesn't actually have a chassis. So it needs to sit up on top of the Jeep chassis, the TJ Jeep chassis. So in sort of saying that, it'll have tons more clearance for that wheel guard. So I'll be still cutting that little part of the wheel guard there anyway, and at the rear, just to make it look sort of even, because 70 mil, it's not a lot really. Rather not have to cut the chassis and extend it, which it's easy to shorten the chassis, but it's a lot more difficult to extend it. So I don't really want to do that. So the old Brumby is going to fit without too much trouble. It's just a matter of getting all the drivetrain out of it and working out where mounting points, and trying to use the original mounting points of the TJ chassis, and then working them out how they're going to fit under there. The next question is, what am I going to do for a driveline? So as you can see, this does not have anything but diffs and springs. So there's no motor, no transmission, and no transfer case. I still do want it to be four-wheel drive. It would be a kind of a waste to go from a four-wheel drive to not a four-wheel drive. Like way back when I was originally trying to organise what to engine swap, is that the right word? When I was originally trying to engine swap, or thinking about engine swapping the Brumby to upgrade it, because the original motors, so you can turbocharge them, you can do all sorts of things like that. But so I needed a motor upgrade. I had a few options. Back then I was thinking about a Toyota Hilux, similar to Zombie, but not necessarily four-wheel drive. I was going to keep it two-wheel drive and just go rear-wheel drive and maybe LS into the chassis, and then, because it certainly would fit in the engine bay, because with a boxer engine they're quite wide. Because the Brumby has a spare wheel under the bonnet, there's tons of room in that engine bay to put a larger engine in. So I'm kind of thinking, do I want two-wheel drive, or do I want a four-wheel drive? What do you think Jim was thinking? Yeah. So here we have, it doesn't look much at the moment, but it's a huge big old 360 cubic inch V8 out of an 80 models Jeep. So this one has a large aftermarket distributor. Someone's gone to the trouble. So this one came available, wasn't very expensive, complete running motor, just doesn't have a gearbox or anything. So what am I going to use for a gearbox? So anyway, back to transmissions. Let me change hands, that's getting a bit heavy. So anyway, back to transmissions. I do have a 6-speed manual transmission out of a JK Jeep, and they're relatively tough. So I'm planning to put that and the NP 231 transfer case right behind it. I've got the drive shafts, I've got the gearbox, got the transfer case, and now I've got a motor. Now, because AMC were relatively smart, they made the bell housing bolt up on their 6-cylinder the same as the V8. So, and the flywheel's generally the same size. I'm just not sure if the bolt pattern on the flywheel is going to be the same or different. If not, I'll have to get a V8 flywheel. Actually, if somebody knows, can they leave me a message? Because I will be getting to that in a few more videos. The plan is to put all those together and see if I can shoehorn them into this engine bay. So that's the plan. There's no reason why I can't get all that together. I've got help of quite a few good friends, mechanically minded and otherwise. So it's only taken me a couple of days to split apart the Jeep body. Got the little bumpy inside. It was outside under a tarp. So I'm planning to chuck all this together and have it all finished all way before this Christmas. And that's this Christmas, not next Christmas, because I remember Zombie took me about 18 months and it was 21 episodes or something. I'm hoping to do this in less than 10. So those who know me and follow along in the channel, you'll understand the processes that I go through. You try and get the base part right, and then you build up from there, and then you make sure the body fits. You know, there's lots of things you got to think about and consider when you're doing a chassis body swap type thing, especially with a large engine. You're not just putting a bolting in, like doing something easy. And I tend not to do things too easy. For some reason, I like doing things the hard way. So guys, if you were to subscribe to my channel, you'd see all sorts of weird stuff like this. Those who do know me, you've seen the Zombie. It took me a little while to get that one, but you learn from your mistakes. And I'm actually planning to get this one road registered. So just do that and you won't miss a thing. We'll see you on the next one.